Have you ever accidentally become the spokesperson for a timeshare presentation you attended? I went to a timeshare presentation in Orlando purely for the free Disney tickets they promised. The plan was simple. Sit through 90 minutes of sales tactics, say no repeatedly, collect tickets, leave. What actually happened was I became their top closer without selling a single timeshare. It started when the presenter, a sweaty guy named Chet, asked if anyone had questions. I raised my hand, genuinely curious about the math. So you're saying for $40,000, I get 1 week a year at this specific resort? That's essentially paying $5,000 per week to vacation in my own property that I can't actually use 51 weeks of the year. The room went quiet. Chet's eye twitched. Well, when you put it that way, and the maintenance fees are how much annually? I continued, doing quick calculations on my phone. So after 10 years, I've actually paid $80,000 for 10 weeks of vacation. That's $8,000 per week. I could stay at the Four Seasons for less. An older couple in the front row started whispering and taking notes. Chet tried redirecting, talking about investment value and legacy properties. I kept asking questions, not maliciously, just genuinely fascinated by the business model. But you're competing against Airbnb now, where I can rent someone's actual house for a week without any commitment. How is this better? More people started taking notes. A woman asked me, not Chet, what I thought about the points system. Well, I said, turning in my chair, from what I understand, the points depreciate in value while the fees increase. So you're essentially buying a depreciating asset with increasing liabilities. It's like buying a car that loses value, but the insurance goes up every year forever. The crowd was now fully facing me instead of Chet. Someone asked if I was a financial advisor. I said no, I just watched a lot of YouTube videos about personal finance. Chet tried to regain control by bringing out his manager, a woman named Diane, who radiated aggressive positivity. She started talking about exclusive benefits and VIP treatment. I raised my hand again. Diane, quick question. If I invested that $40,000 in an index fund with average returns, in 20 years I'd have roughly $160,000. That could pay for a lot of VIP treatment at actual hotels where I'm not locked into specific dates and locations. The couple in front of me stood up and headed for the exit. Others followed. Diane's smile looked painful now. She pivoted to emotional manipulation, talking about family memories and legacy gifts for children. Interesting point about children, I said. Would they inherit the maintenance fees too? Because that seems less like a gift and more like assigning them homework that costs $2,000 a year. By now, half the room was empty. The remaining people were treating me like their protective shield against sales pressure. One guy actually moved his chair next to mine. Diane brought out the nuclear option, the today-only special price. $30,000 instead of $40,000, she announced desperately. I pulled up my calculator again. So that's still roughly double what the average American has in their retirement savings for the privilege of vacationing in the same place every year? The last couple walked out. It was just me, my new friend Carl, who'd scooted next to me, and the increasingly panicked sales team. Diane disappeared and returned with a VP of sales, a man who looked like he sold used cars in a previous life. What's it gonna take to get you in a timeshare today? He asked me directly. A time machine to go back and invest in Bitcoin instead, I replied. Carl laughed so hard he nearly fell off his chair. The VP gave up. They handed me my Disney tickets with visible disgust. As I was leaving, Carl stopped me in the parking lot. You just saved me $40,000, he said, shaking my hand. I'm telling everyone about this. Apparently he did. The next month, I got a call from a friend asking if I could attend a presentation with them because they'd heard about that guy who destroyed the timeshare people with math. I started a blog about it as a joke. It went viral. People began inviting me to attend presentations with them as their technical advisor. I'd sit there, ask my questions, and watch the salespeople slowly realize they weren't closing any deals that day. The timeshare companies eventually caught on. My name and photo are apparently on some kind of industry blacklist now. I tried attending one in Vegas last year just for fun, and security escorted me out before the presentation even started. The guard whispered, "Corporate sent your photo to all locations. You're the math guy, right? I still have those Disney tickets framed in my office. They cost that company probably 20 sales. Best $100 tickets they ever gave away. Carl sends me Christmas cards every year with photos from his vacations to different places, always with a note. Thanks for saving my retirement, math guy."